Hi, this is Kim with Simply Homespun. Welcome back to my podcast, episode 2. It is Friday, June 17th, I believe, and I'm coming to you from sunny Crossville, Tennessee. If you want to find me on the internet, you can find me on Instagram, Ravelry, and Facebook as Simply Homespun. I'm on Pinterest as Simply Homespun Yarn. I'm on Twitter as Simply Homespun 1, the number 1. And my Etsy shop is Simply Handspun Yarn. So if you, I'm pretty much everywhere on the web. If you Google Simply Homespun, you will probably see all of that on the front page. But anyway, I want to show you some things I bought yesterday at Michael's. It wasn't a lot. My daughter had a dentist appointment in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and so we went by Michael's because she is doing pot holders. She's raising money for a air hockey table. And so anyway, she's selling these, you know, the pot holders. They've been around forever because I had them when I was a kid, but you have the loops and you put them on the plastic loom and then you weave it back and forth and you get a pot holder. Well, she is going through these loops like crazy, and her granddad just ordered her just a whole bulk of them yesterday online, but she's almost out of her loops. So we went by Michael's and they had them on clearance for $2.99 a bag. So we've got her 3 bags of those, and that should keep her busy until her stash comes in. But I wanted to look at their yarn, but their yarn section was being revamped, so I couldn't get in there to see, and they had all their yarn everywhere. But I did look at the beads, and the beads were 40% off, so I bought some beads to put into an art yarn. And all of them are from Bead Gallery, and I just thought these were pretty. I think what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to go ahead and spin the yarn in the natural white and go ahead and apply these beads with it, and then hand paint the yarn with Kool-Aid because I can get these vibrant colors with Kool-Aid. So that'll be finished for next week's podcast. And then I bought these beads, which I thought were really pretty. The purple and pink and white with the different designs on them. Whoops. So those will be in a yarn. And then these reminded me of when I was a little girl. We would go up to the mountains and we would get rock candy. And it looked just like this. But these are not edible. These are actually rocks. But pretty, and I'm gonna spin those into an art yarn. And then these I really thought were beautiful. They really look vintage, and I've already dyed the wool for this. And this wool I actually just bought. Let's see if she put her shop name. I don't have it, but I will put it in my show notes. The shop name, but this was a blend of Romney, Leicester, and Lincoln wool, and I dyed it with the green and the you know, this is not actually right before I did it, it was still outside drying. So actually, let me show you something real quick if you don't know how to put your yarn in a braid. It's kind of just a this is a, my husband was a climber, and this was how he had his ropes, and now he does the extension cords this way. I think I just put a twist in it, but anyway, so you're just threading it through the way I did. But it shows better than in this clump of ball here. It's actually almost dry. That's how hot it is today. And I was trying to podcast inside, but I couldn't get the lighting right. So anyway, here we are outside again on the porch. One thing I am going to do is, at the end of the podcast, I'm going to include a cooking segment. And I know I told you last week that we were trying to get healthy with our eating. Well, this recipe today is not healthy, but my in-laws are in. It's my father-in-law's favorite. It's chess pie. It is my mom's recipe, and it is awesome. So anyway, I'm going to make chess pie. And I thought I would share that with you guys because it is so good. Not healthy, but so good. Okay, here it is. So, whoops, there. So anyway, I pulled up the cranberry and the green. So those beads will be spun into this. And I'll have that for next Friday. So that one and the Kool-Aid one I should have done. I mean, I may do more. I don't know. And then I was going through, oh, wait, still on acquisitions. I told you last week I'd ordered yarn for my dad's sweater. Well, it's here. It's Lily Sugar and Cream. And it's 100% cotton, worsted weight. So it's 710 yards. Is that right? Yeah, 710 yards, and I got three skeins of it. So it should be enough for my sweater, my dad's Irish clan sweater. And I hope so. But it's soft. It should be good, better than the wool, so because it won't be so hot. Okay, that's it for my acquisitions. Now, on my works in progress, I was in my studio, and when I get that organized, I'll take you on a tour down there, but it's not organized. But anyway, I came across this project. It's a baby blanket. I had done a hat out of this. This is hand spun that I did. It's 100% wool. And so anyway, I used this. I think I had a bug just crawling in my ear. But it's not there now. Okay, sorry. Distractions of being outside, and this is a screened-in porch, but anyway, I have the door open because one of our dogs is up here, and he likes to go out on the deck and then come back in, and because the deck will get in the sun, it gets really hot, so he comes inside, which is neither here nor there, but that's why I have a bug in here. So this is the hand spun, and the lighting's still not right. So on the baby blanket, I did the edging of it in my hand spun here, and then the rest, the middle part, is in the Lion Brand Hometown collection. This is Honolulu Pink here. And I used to have a brick and mortar shop, and this was part of my inventory from that. I had quite a bit of Lion Brand yarn I carried, but anyway, so now it's being knit up into a baby blanket. Well, the sad part of it is that this was started right after I finished the hat, and the baby is big. Too big for this baby blanket. That's pathetic, because really, look, I'm using size 35 knitting needles with this humongous yarn. What should it take? Like a couple hours and I should be done. So anyway, I'm going to try and finish it this week. Well, that would be awesome, wouldn't it? So maybe I will finish it this week. So that's officially in the works in progress list now. The other works in progress that I showed you last week, I was going to do the socks, the Mina's from Knitting Expat, her 2 at a time magic loop socks. Well, I do have them on needles, and ball. Here's the right ball. Okay. Well, do you know, 8, at least 8 tries. I have had it on these needles, and then I had to rip it out. Do it again, and I had to rip it out. Part of the problem is I had to go to another podcast because I needed something simpler than what Mina was doing. I love her, and she is excellent on her podcast and her instructional videos, but she is a very fast knitter, and I couldn't see what she was doing exactly. And so I went to another Magic Loop podcast, which I'll link to in the show notes, but and I had to do a third different Magic Loop podcast. I went, Very Pink Knits is who I went to, and I thought I pretty much had it, but I wasn't positive that it was right because I just couldn't see everything. So I did finally find one that was excellent because she was very slow and explained what she was doing as she was going. So after I got her and understood it, I went back and watched Mina's again, and it made more sense. And so anyway, but it's a knit 2, purl 2 rib, and in the best of circumstances, if I'm not concentrating, I goof that up all the time. Because I'll look up, I'll talk, and then I'm like, I don't know where I was. So, or I'll come out, at the end with 3 stitches left to purl, and I should only have 2. So anyway, because it's so little, and I want it to be good, I kept ripping it out. But I'm on a roll now. This is as far as I've gotten, and this is row 5. So that's the beginning of the cuff of sock 1. So we'll see how far I am by next Friday, but after you get the Magic Loop, and I will put those links in the show notes so you can, all 3 were good videos. I just am a very visual learner, and I just wasn't able to see. I need to see exactly what she did, and I couldn't figure it out. So anyway, I got it, and it's awesome, and I'll link those to the show notes. So that's that. And then I have one more work in progress. This is one my son found cleaning out his desk. I don't know how it got in his desk drawer, but I had several years ago, gosh, it's really more than several, it's probably 8 years ago, I had gone to a quilting class for this coloring book quilt, and I had made a quilt before, and my daughter has, my oldest daughter has it. I gave it to her when she went to college, and actually we went to see her yesterday. She lives in Murfreesboro, and Grace was laying on the couch, and Jessica's boyfriend grabbed that quilt and put it over Jessica, and Grace, and I was like, look, I made this. And so anyway, it still looks great. It's amazing. But my sister, Karen, loved flowers and the butterflies and all of that. She just loved flowers. And so this class was on the butterfly garden quilt. And there's 12 blocks. In each one you color with crayons, and then you embroider, and at the end you'll put them all together, and there's not a picture of it. But, so anyway, I have all 12 blocks, and part of the class was that the owner printed off the design, or ironed it on a muslin block. So that's the flowers, and then that I've embroidered here. And so I have a little ways to go on that one. But the thought was to do this quilt for my sister for Christmas, or her birthday, which was in January, and then I started in January. So I thought, well, I'll be through December, January, I can give it to her. Well, like I said, 8 years, and that's all I've done. And my sister, sadly, passed away in, 2012, I think. So I just had a hard time going back to this after that because it was sad. But anyway, I want to finish it. I want to do it and finish it for her. And, I mean, I know she won't have it, of course, but just, you know, when I'm working on it, I'm thinking about Karen and all the good times we had, and I just miss her so much, and it's just a huge hole in my life because we were very, very close, and I just miss her so terribly. So, but I do want to finish this, and it would be a great heirloom quilt to pass on. She was not married, she didn't have children, so, but she loved my children like they were hers, and so maybe my kids can share passing around. Jessica already has her quilt, and Grace will probably be the type to appreciate something like this, but I don't know about my sons, but anyway, we'll see. Hopefully I live to finish it. No. Just need to sit and I just need to work on these things. So anyway, that is my works in progress. The other thing I wanted to share is, you know, I had I'd bought the bullet journal, or it wasn't a bullet journal, but the journal last week I showed you. And I was going to buy my daughter, Jessica, another one for her to color and do a journal while she was going through her recovery from surgery. Well, I wound up giving Jessica that one yesterday when I saw her, and I went back to the one I had started, and I just felt like that was the thing to do. But I am going to share a little bit in this, and I'll show you what I just did. I don't know what the best way is going to be. Well, I guess that's not bad. So this is for June, and so basically I just did out June calendar, and then over here I did the calendar, well, some goals, and then the calendar, the July and August. So I did that and decorated with stickers and color, and then I think at the bottom I've got the couple Bible verses there. And then this is my weekly, so you would do a day, space for every day of the week, and I do task, and as you can see for Wednesday I haven't checked those off, but what did I put? Return to library books, did not do. Bank, I did not do. Start socks, I did that. My socks are started, so I can check something off. And then these just get moved down. Well, that was Wednesday. Thursday, Grace Dentist, I can check that off. Visit with Jessica, I can check both of those off. And then today, what does that say? Podcast. I can check that off. Yay! So I still need to go to the bank and return the library books. But I will do that. And then my thing is going to be, I'm going to have to just force myself to do this until it gets to be a habit. I mean, once I do it, I love it. And then I had to play, this, I'm just kind of fooling around. I wanted to include the kids' homeschool schedules and everything in here. But I gotta figure out a good way to do that. Anyway, I have, it's just, that's not going to work what I did. But, and then, I teach a class at church on Wednesdays on the book of James. And so, excuse me, I'm going to take a drink because I don't know pollen, but something. is in my throat. Okay, but we were on chapter 2, the last part, and it's on faith. And so I did a Greek research on the word faith, and I got 2 pages of stuff. And so anyway, I was basically doing this for my notes. I don't know if you can see much of it. I was doing this for my notes, but I thought, man, this is so colorful. I bet the class would like that. So I made the class copies of this, and they did. They loved it. And I was so happy with that, and they followed along, and it was really good. So I'm not saying I want to do that every time, but it was great. That really was a good thing. As far as books I've been reading, I did get more into the Amish Knitting Circle books. Not much, but some. And I'm still doing the Ecclesiastes study, and we'll do that tonight in our small group. Other than that, Cruel World that I told you about, I had checked it out off of Reads. It's R period, E period, A period, D period, S period. It's online, and if you have a library card, most libraries participate. And if you have a library card, you can just plug in your library card number, and you can check out books online and just download them to your computer or Kindle. And so anyway, Cruel World expired, because that was a library book I checked out on Kindle, and I didn't read it. I didn't get into it. I just didn't read it. So the Knitting Circle, Amish Knitting Circle, is really good so far, and so far there's an older Amish woman who wants to start a knitting circle, and so she's sending written invitations to her friends, inviting them to the knitting circle. And I can tell so then it goes to each individual woman's life, and I think it's going to be awesome. So I'm excited about getting into that. And other than that, that's about all I've read this week. I get on my phone, is where my Kindle is. Well, it's not really a phone. It is a phone, but I don't have the phone activated. I just use it for a computer. But anyway, where was I going with that? Okay. I have no idea. Isn't that crazy? I mean, did you see the thought fly out of my head? Because it must have. I don't know. Anyway. So that's that for this week in books. And I am going to pause. Well, you know what? I may publish this part of the video and then look for part 2. This will be episode 2A. And I'll have an episode 2B, which is going to be the chess pie. So I'll post that in just a little bit, and you can see that. And I will see you guys in a few minutes. Bye.